hydrogen instead of coal? The bitter reality of the energy transition. Before we begin today, I want to ask you directly, do you believe that Germany's energy policy, particularly under the leadership of the Greens, can guarantee a sustainable future? Or is this path leading us to an economic dead end? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear what you think. The role of Robert Habeck and the Greens in energy policy. Robert Habeck, Federal Minister for Economic Affairs and Climate Action, is leading Germany's energy transition. As a prominent member of the Greens, he has expressed his desire to move Germany towards a more sustainable energy policy and significantly reduce its dependence on fossil fuels. The stated goal is to achieve climate neutrality by 2045 and take a leading role in the fight against climate change. However, achieving these goals is no simple task. German energy policy faces major challenges, particularly following the phase-out of nuclear energy and the reduction of gas supplies from Russia due to the war in Ukraine. These events have raised questions about whether the Greens' ambitious plans are truly feasible and whether they could plunge the country into an energy crisis. A central element of the Green strategy is the increased use of hydrogen as a substitute for fossil fuels, particularly blue hydrogen derived from natural gas, which initially seemed like a promising transitional technology. However, it turned out that there were more obstacles than expected. Blue hydrogen, hope or illusion? Blue hydrogen is produced from natural gas, with the resulting CO2 being captured and stored to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In theory, this seems like an ideal solution to help energy-intensive industries on their path to climate neutrality. In reality, however, the problems are enormous. Germany plans to make a significant contribution to the energy transition through the import of blue hydrogen from Norway. To bring eco-friendly energy into the country, a special pipeline would need to be built. However, despite initial excitement, the project failed. The reasons for its failure vary. One of the main factors is the German industry's reluctance to invest in blue hydrogen. For companies, especially in the steel and chemical industries, the transition to hydrogen will come with enormous costs. Building new infrastructure, adjusting production processes, and uncertainty about the future development of hydrogen prices make many companies skeptical. Without a credible buyer, the project would not be profitable for Norway. Another blow to green energy policy? This failure also underscores the general state of implementing green energy policies in Germany. Since their inception, the Greens have consistently advocated for renewable energy and a rapid transition away from fossil fuels. With their entry into the federal government, the Greens under Robert Habeck and Annalena Baerbock have set ambitious goals. However, reality has proven to be more complicated than many expected. The failed hydrogen project is just one of many examples showing that the transition to renewable energy and alternative technologies is not as simple as it first seems. Many critics accuse the party of approaching problems too idealistically and underestimating economic and technical issues. In particular, energy-intensive industries, the backbone of the German economy, are increasingly under pressure. While companies like BASF and ThyssenKrupp are under pressure to significantly reduce their emissions, they often lack clear incentives and political support. Geopolitical aspects of the hydrogen project. However, the failed hydrogen project is not just a domestic issue. It also has far-reaching geopolitical consequences. After the war in Ukraine and the sanctions imposed on Russia, energy security moved to the top of the agenda. The German government sought to reduce its dependence on Russian gas supplies and saw Norway as a reliable partner. Norway has vast gas reserves and appeared ready to supply blue hydrogen to Germany. The planned pipeline between the two countries was supposed to be a symbol of German-Norwegian energy cooperation. But now that the project has failed, the question remains as to what alternatives Germany has to ensure its energy security. Without access to cheap energy, the German industry could be seriously impacted. And it's not just about economic competitiveness but also geopolitical stability. Energy is not just a commodity but also a tool of power. Countries that have their own energy resources or access to them will have a strategic advantage. Germany, which is phasing out nuclear energy and limiting coal burning while relying on renewable energy, faces the difficult task of filling this gap. What do you think? Can Germany keep its industry competitive without sufficient energy supply, or are crises looming? Let me know in the comments. The role of industry between climate protection and competitiveness. The transition to a zero-emission future is a major challenge for German industry. Steel mills, chemical companies, and automakers rely on cheap and reliable energy to keep production costs low. However, switching to renewable energy sources or alternative technologies like hydrogen requires significant investment. These costs are enormous, not only financially but also technologically. New manufacturing processes need to be developed and tested, while companies maintain existing processes. Blue hydrogen is seen as a potential solution to this dilemma. Unlike green hydrogen, which is produced with renewable energy and is currently very expensive, blue hydrogen is a cheaper alternative. However, the industry's lack of confidence in the future of blue hydrogen, as well as the lack of political guarantees, ultimately led to the project's failure. This leaves German industry in a dilemma. On one hand, we need to become more environmentally friendly and reduce emissions. On the other hand, companies must remain competitive and not lose ground in the international market. The lack of clear political frameworks and reliable energy sources is causing many companies to hesitate to make the necessary investments. Political consequences of the failure. For Robert Habeck and the Greens, the failure of the hydrogen project is a severe setback. As Minister of Economic Affairs, Habeck faces the challenge of balancing ambitious climate goals with economic reality. While the Greens are betting on a future where renewable energy sources make up the bulk of the energy supply, it is becoming increasingly clear that the path to achieving this goal is more difficult than expected. Political opponents are taking advantage of the project's failure to criticize green policies. The opposition accuses the Greens of being too dogmatic and not addressing the country's economic needs. Industrial lobbyists, in particular, are pushing for a more pragmatic approach and calling for greater support for the transition to cleaner technologies. It is becoming increasingly clear that the federal government will have to make tough decisions in the coming years. On one hand, they want to achieve climate goals and reduce dependence on fossil fuels. On the other hand, they cannot risk hindering German industry and losing jobs. International significance and the role of the United States. The failure of the hydrogen project has not only national but also international consequences. The U.S. is watching closely how Germany shapes its energy policy. In recent years, the U.S. has increasingly relied on fracking and solidified its role as an energy supplier in the global market. If the hydrogen project fails, Germany may be forced to import more energy from the U.S. Such developments could also affect transatlantic relations. While the U.S. seeks to export its own energy resources, it is also interested in ensuring that its European allies, especially Germany, have stable and independent energy supplies. However, if Germany continues to struggle with energy supply issues, this could lead to tensions within NATO. After all, energy is also a matter of security policy. Are we relying too much on hydrogen as an energy carrier? Or do you still see the potential for Germany to invest more in this technology in the future? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Conclusion: the future of German energy. The failed hydrogen project is a symptom of larger problems Germany faces. The transition to renewable energy sources and reducing dependence on fossil fuels is a central goal of German policy. However, the path to achieving it is fraught with obstacles. It is clear that the federal government will need to balance climate goals with economic realities in the coming years. Creating a sustainable and eco-friendly energy supply is crucial for the country's future. However, without the support of industry and a clear political framework, achieving these goals will be difficult. Robert Habeck and the Greens now face the challenge of turning their vision of a climate-friendly future into reality. Please leave a comment. I'm eager to hear your opinion. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting analyses. Check out our other videos. I guarantee you'll find them interesting. See you soon and stay informed.